Yo, what's up guys? So I made this video to show the graphics settings that I'm using in my game. And these settings have worked for me for quite some time. And I've tested these settings for a long time. And I usually stream with these settings. I play with these settings. And I usually get a very smooth gameplay. And overall, it just works better for my system. I'm streaming from a single PC. I have a Ryzen 5800 X3D and a 3070 Ti with 8 GB of VRAM. So yeah, this is the graphics setting that I'm using. Obviously, I'm running borderless full screen because I need to switch between my other monitor, and I'm not using FSR Frame Gen 3 for obvious reasons since I'm using a Nvidia card, and this introduces latency issues. Also, I have a Gsync monitor, so I have turned off VSync, and I'm using Nvidia Reflex low latency because you can use the boost mode, but it might introduce a bit more input latency maybe. I don't know. So I just kept it on. This works for best for me. The main thing that I did was limit the frame rate to 120. Now the reason for this is because Arc Raiders was using like 99% of my GPU when I was not limiting the frame rate. So I limited the frame rate to 120, and after that it just started working a little better, more stable, no stutters. And I think this is what I recommend. Maybe you can go a bit higher if you have a graphic card with a higher VRAM. I don't know, but this works for me. And I'm running at 1080p. I'm using Nvidia DLSS. Obviously, I'm not using any other quality model like the performance or quality mode. I'm still using DLAA, which looks very good and still performs better. And the transformer model looks and feels a little slightly better than the CNN model. Field of view, that's your personal choice. I like to keep it at 75. Not, I don't like to go any higher. Otherwise, everything becomes a little bit more squish, and it becomes harder to aim at enemies that are in the distance. And if you have ever played any multiplayer, you should always turn off motion blur. Now here comes the interesting part. This right here, the RTX global illumination, this thing basically uh, calculates the real-time light bounces when you're inside a building or even looking at the building from outside or any other structures where the light is supposed to be bouncing off. So this was actually set to low before. So if I change this right now, you can see the game stutters a bit because it recalculates all the lighting. I changed this to static, and after that my game has become much more stable because this uses a pre-calculated lighting data. Sorry, I'm early in the morning. And yeah, so this actually worked for me. Try this if you are low on VRAM. All right, next. View distance obviously high because you want to see as far as you can. Game looks beautiful with it. Anti-aliasing I've kept it to low because the DLA works better and it looks good with DLA, so we don't need a lot of anti-aliasing. It still filters out a lot of the aliased edges. Shadows I kept it on high because it looks really good, and I didn't see much of a difference in VRAM usage. Post processing I kept it at medium. Keeping it on high did not do much, but increase the VRAM usage. Textures on medium, this is a choice. If you have a higher VRAM card, you can increase this up to high, but don't go any higher than that. I don't even know if it goes any higher than that. Effects, this is a bit controversial. You can keep it on low, you can keep it on medium. Medium looks better, the clouds look better, the shadows look better, the trees look better, and any higher it just increases the GPU usage but doesn't give you any visual clarity. Reflections on low, they still look pretty good on low. Foliage is on medium. This is the clutter on the ground. If you increase that, you will have much more ground clutter. If you reduce that, you will have less ground clutter and small shrubs and trees and all that. If you have static RTX global illumination, this thing does not do anything right here. Even if you change it to high, medium, it won't do anything if you kept it on static. So I'll just keep it on low. and I've disabled the in-game performance, and both of these settings are off right now. So these are the graphic settings that I'm using, and my game is looking pretty good. It works nice. Like I had no stutters, consistent performance across all maps, and even in the distance the game looks pretty good. I can spot people from afar. And yeah, so a lot of the people asked what settings I'm using, so yeah, I made this video. Hopefully this helps you out in some way, and I'll see you raiders out there. Bye.